in the winter of 98 that Ared Dustafo, the great and wise seer, was discovered in a floe of ice, and after sufficient time by the fire, was returned to the land of the living. Long had been his years in a state of suspended animation, but soon his meditations and contemplations in the remote spaces of the wilderness resumed. At long last, when his conversations with the spirits of nature and God craved the confirmation of human listeners, he rented a room for barter of his knowledge and his sweat. Then the teacher became a pupil of the times which had passed, and indeed he learned what had transpired during his absence through the recollections of those he met. Moreover, Ared discovered the present state of man through the television in his lodging, and so alarmed was he by all he saw and heard, he was also considered by the students to be the coolest dude on campus. Yet despite his popularity among the co-eds, the professors quickly came to dismiss his ruminations on the follies of man. Still the master persisted, such was his resolve. He, Ared the Wise, gave one final audience in front of the campus library on April Fool's Day. Here, as he bid adieu to the exhilarating impertinence of youth, he ascended a cubist statue of Plato and answered questions as only he could.
Who would be first?
Hey, want to know what makes you so wise? Why can't I score some long robes and do your gig myself, man?
You?
Oh, great one! What do you think about violence on the streets?
My children, think of it like this. If you walk around a corner and you're confronted by a punk with a gun and he asks why he should not kill you, what do you say? Do you say, because I'm a good person? Yet what is good, do you know? Or maybe you would say, because it's wrong. But again, what is that? Were you to determine what is right or wrong for anyone, especially if your parents never even taught you phonics? Because God condemns it? What God? Science? Science is just numbers. A billion dying suns in an infinite universe of incredible cold and distance. I predict you will be all faced soon by that kid. Maybe even the same kid. And he will want to know how to live his life. And you will not be able to give him the riddles I did. The gun will be pointing at your belly very soon, but you do not believe me because you are too busy thinking, who are you to judge me? Here's your dilemma. For although saying something is wrong will offend those who are doing that wrong, not to say it is the same thing as saying nothing is right. Right?
Are you also against belonging to a frat house like TTT?
Do you mean theta, 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 or testosterone, testosterone, testosterone? Your traditions are good, but see that they not be mocked. I know not of the house you speak, but no matter what Greek letters emblazon the portals of your fraternity row, no house should, ere the rising sun, become a school for Greek love and toga parties. Or if they are, then should the whereabouts of those prior brothers or sisters be tracked to see which old members still flip patties and attend AA meetings.
What about just, like partying?
I have seen you prize action and to disdain those who would spend their time at study. But I say to you, where is this action? You talk of drink, of loud music, and cavorting in pleasure and drunkenness. Is this what you mean? But is not the sparrow who builds a nest in a tree more active? Or the nerd at study? I think you mean a dulling of spirit. I think you mean to put out of thought all worries and fears and your own insecurities. And I say to you, rather embrace them. Let them be your soul's fuel and your body's challenge. You're young, yes, but do not be foolish. Invite those nerds to your party and gather around them to learn from them. Heed their words and laugh not. Do you not know that Bill Gates is now officially richer than God?
Is there a God?
You see him before you this day. I am he who comes to tell you that Bill Gates isn't him either.
Do you like sports?
He who would bat, roll, hit, kick, pitch, bounce, or otherwise propel balls should know that there is more to life. The exercise of the body is good, but when the mind is atrophied, it is an ugly thing to behold. Then can one's soul no longer commune with nature or God. Then will the victim end up in old age with only a television set, a bag of Fritos, and no passport to the great mystery beyond. You talk about these players, read about them, argue over them with the help of Sports Illustrated, the sporting news. You listen with rapt attention to has-been aging commentators telling you who's being traded for who and for how much. And you think you know what the score is, whatever the sport, but do you? I say let not your world become like that of ancient Rome, which fell even as its citizens yelled, "Play ball!"
Hey, how about rock music and today's lyrics?
The philosophy expressed appears at first to be one of prizing anarchy and dissolution, but upon repetition it becomes clearer and clearer that the true motivation is a hedonistic nihilism propelled by lazy cliches and a vapidity which cannot break even the surface tension of wisdom, much like pond scum. Yet if the words are mumbled, slurred, or otherwise covered sufficiently, I like it.
What do I do about the neighbors above me? They have parties even on weeknights and play their Scorpion CDs until 3 in the morning. I can't sleep or study. My grades are suffering. Don't tell me to call the police either, because the girl next to me does that, and they always manage to cut their stereo off just in time.
Would that you had a stereo of your own with Bose speakers and a 200-amp power plant. Then you could play some nice classical music for them in the morning. I think after sunrise you would not violate any laws, would you? I would suggest Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, followed by maybe some polkas, a couple of Swedish yodeling medleys, and a rendition of Una Paloma Blanca by Slim Whitman. When the police come to your door, you can make a contribution to the policeman's benevolent fund.
Hey, do you follow politics?
No, I do not. Until recently, it has all been a game on the hill with drinks on the house. Now it is merely a shell game played by blind people betting with your money.
If proper safety is taken, should a girl consent to sex on the first date?
And what do you do on date number 2?
Got any advice from the great beyond on how we'll find jobs?
I do not know, but all work is sacred if you do your best. Even flipping hydrolyzed vegetable protein patties. So do not disparage whatever is given for you to do. And while you continue to seek employment in your realm of excellence, never assume a job is beneath you. For work is not a right but a sacrament. It is not a drudgery but a duty to God and your fellow man. Would you carry a sign like some are wont to do, asking for work in exchange for food, but really seeking alms? If you must carry such a sign, mean what you write and work as you will. For any lie that you tell can distill a poison in your heart, and your dream will take flight to another, else it die. Do your job, I say, exceeding that which is expected, and your strength will rise. Rise to meet your dream. Then your dream, like the eagle, will beat its wings in a freedom song and will carry you all the way from McDonald's to Denny's.
What other classes should I take, not related to my field?
Do you have a choice? If such be the case, it might be better to recommend classes for you to avoid. Your dilemma is this: how to prepare for a meaningful life by taking classes taught by illiterate teaching assistants, while your real professors are still off spending grant money to study discrimination among red and black ants. How to prepare yourself to compete in a world where granddads tool around in an RV cashing Social Security checks they do not need. A world where you cannot even buy used textbooks because they change them on you every year. Good luck.
I'm trying to come up with a PhD thesis. Any advice?
How about explaining why some people circle your mall's parking lot looking for the closest space to park, while others are already inside and making their purchases?
Is there anything good on TV?
What if you gave up your TV? Would this not be good? I think it would, for you are asking the wrong question. Look in the mirror, I say. Stare at your reflection and ask the character staring back at you if it is real. Splash cold water in the face of the mirror if you must, but get your answer, for it is time to create your own experiences and your own ratings, while the Nielsen family squanders their time and neglects their responsibilities in favor of munching cheese doodles and never saying a word to each other except pass me the remote.
What about fame?
Seek not fame to find self-worth. Rather, find yourself first and then share yourself with others. Only then will the image that is seen of you be true. Seek not Hollywood's fame, wherein the seeker exults in a sickness of ego, requiring many psychotherapists, plastic surgeons, and the Betty Ford Clinic.
Is happiness still possible?
Not in this life. Next!
Hey, I'm Carl, janitor on campus. How can I just get the hell out of here?
Projecting yourself from your body is very difficult to achieve, as you may have suspected, especially if your name is Madonna. While many people hate their bodies, they have yet to master this skill. Simply loathing what you look like will not work in most instances. You have to be able to do it with your eyes closed. Once you learn to do this, however, all that remains is really despising where you are.
Master, tell us of life's meaning.
Ah, yes. One of my groupies asks me again for the truth while following me everywhere and feeding me grapes. For ages, have you contemplated the meaning of life? What is the meaning? The answer. The reason to fight and die on the streets of battle. The motivation behind working and going to school and eating and belching and doing laundry. Have you not found it after discarding religion and respect for the office of president? Alas, I cannot tell you either. Else you go mad, shave your head, and attack the Pope.
What's the funniest joke in the world?
Again, I wish I could tell you, but most of those who heard it died of heart failure within seconds. I can only say that the setting is a stuck elevator with Newt Hillary and a sumo wrestler with a chicken bone stuck in his throat.
So then why is the city of Toledo considered holy?
Because neither Jerry Springer nor the crew of cops have been there yet.
Do you know who shot Kennedy?
No, but I know who shot J.R. As it turns out, neither matters. There is no Camelot, for like sunken lost Atlantis, that particular fabled city lies somewhere beneath the waters, off Chappaquiddick.
Should I go to grad school?
Have you learned anything so far? This is why you should buy my book. Dial 1-800-PRO-PHET. Your profit is my profit. Now I must bid you adieu. Remember, 1-800-PRO-PHET. And we do accept American Express. Go forth now and do not multiply. If you enjoyed this drama, please donate to Sun Sounds of Arizona, making creative use of technology and talent to ensure that every person has the opportunity to access the current and local information necessary to a self-directed, productive life. sunsounds.org. Written and produced by Jonathan Lowe. This is Bobby Rich speaking.